day 21, and it's yoga for back pain. Now, I've decided to do a almost restorative class here, so it's nice and slow. We won't be doing any quick movement, and this is purely so that you can feel each and everything that's going on in your body, and especially in that back. So I'd like you to notice, as we're moving through different poses, what is happening for you in those poses. And not just what's happening whilst you're holding those poses, whilst you're also finding movement, whilst you're moving and transitioning between different places as well. So we're going to be starting out nice and slow on our backs, and then slowly introducing some more movement before ending up on our backs again. So when you're ready, grab your water, lay out your mat, get into your comfy little yoga space. I really recommend getting warm clothing, maybe some fluffy socks, some big jumpers. If you want to use blankets, pillows and things like that at the end, you're welcome to. If you want to use some props as well to make this even more restorative, you're welcome to. So if you've got a yoga brick, grab onto that. If you have a yoga block, grab onto that. If you want to use folded up blankets, if you want to use pillows, like I said, you are welcome to do so. So throw whatever you need to. I'll be suggesting a few things along the way. You can choose to ignore it if you want to. But let's get moving and sort out our back pain if possible. Okay, so when you're ready to begin, let's move ourselves into a comfy position on our backs. So we're just going to walk ourselves down, if you're not already, to lay on your back today. And I'd like you to come into the bent knee Shavasana position. So the feet are bent in towards your bottom, knees up towards the ceiling, and maybe the hands resting on your belly. So just closing the eyes and really feel your lower back connecting to the mat if you can. If you need to adjust your pelvis just so that you can feel the back on the mat, then please do. We're just going to breathe in and breathe out. And just notice how your body is feeling today in this moment. How each individual part is: the toes, the soles of the feet, the tops of the feet, the ankles, the shins, the calves, the knees, the tops of the thighs, the backs of the thighs, hips, the glutes and pelvis, the lower back and the belly, the mid-back, the upper back and the chest, the shoulders, all the way down to the fingertips and the thumbs, the palms, the tops of the hands, the wrists, the forearms, elbows, upper arms, and the shoulders once more. Your neck, the throat area, the jaw, the tongue, the teeth, the cheeks, the nose, the eyes, the eyelids, the eyebrows, the space between the brows, the forehead, the crown of the head. How is your entire body feeling here as you are lying in your bent knee Shavasana to start our session today? Maybe it's an overall sensation for the entire body. Maybe it's energy levels today. And maybe there's a particular area that's really just wanting your attention for whatever reason. Just knowing what's happening today. Let's take a few more lovely deep breaths in through the nose. And out through the nose or the mouth today, whatever's working for you. Good, one more. And when you're ready to start adding a bit of movement in, slowly windscreen wiper those knees from side to side, so drawing them over towards the left, to center, and slowly over towards the right. To center, the left again, and then the right. Good. And from here, come back to center, back to stillness. You're welcome to keep the eyes shut, but if you want to watch, you can do that too. So you're going to take a nice big inhale and bring those knees in towards our chest. And maybe even the forehead reaches up to meet the knees today. So knees to nose to knees, whatever way you like to say it. But let's take 2 more breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. And as you exhale, slowly release the head back down to the mat and send the feet up towards the ceiling. Now, we want to try and come into happy baby here by either grabbing onto the soles of the feet, so the arches, the toes. But if that's not feeling comfortable today, just feel free to grab onto the calf area or behind the knees to pull down. So whatever's working in your body. And maybe we find stillness here, or maybe we rock gently side to side. Maybe there's a little bit of movement for you in the legs that needs to happen today. And that's fine, but just noticing what's going on in the body as you're feeling that lower back really connecting to the mat. In our happy baby, we're pushing down into the feet or the legs in some place to help us to really feel that pressure and that connection in our lower back with the mat beneath us. Let's take 2 more breaths. Good. And when you're ready to, let's exhale, slowly send the feet all the way back down to the mat beneath us. Feet about hip width wide. Take the palms either side of the hips, turn down towards the ground. As you inhale, I'd like you to push the feet into the mat, squeeze the glutes and lift the pelvis up towards the ceiling. Good. As you exhale, we slowly ripple down through the spine. The bottom's the last thing to reach the ground. So with every inhale, we're breathing, we're lifting the hips up, squeezing the glutes. And every exhale, we're rippling back down. The glutes are the last thing to reach the mat. Good. Inhale. And exhale. We'll take 2 more if you're happy. One more round. And maybe when we get to the top, we just gently rock our hands underneath our sacrums, so that flat bit of our lower back or our waist area, and almost create a hammock for our back today to rest into those hands. Maybe we find stillness, maybe there's a bit of movement that needs to happen again. So just checking in with your body, what does it need right now to feel good? Good. Lovely. Okay, as you next exhale, lift the hands underneath, just gently release them back down to the mat and slowly ripple through the spine. Again, bottom's the last thing to reach the ground. Lovely. As you inhale, hug the knees in towards the chest again. I'm going to slowly rock up to seated. So doing some nice little rocks up. Maybe you take 1, maybe you take 3. I don't mind how many it is. But slowly making your way all the way up to a nice seated position with crouched or bent knees, I should say. Let's come to boat pose from here today. So wrapping those hands behind the backs of the knees. We're now finding that place in our sitting bones where you almost have like a tripod going on in your pelvis area. So you've got 2 bony bits on either side of your bottom, and you've got like a tripod going on. And you'll naturally find that as you're sat up here, but sitting up taller will help to really tilt it in a way that supports you in your balance today. So as we inhale, we're rising up onto the tiptoes, hands behind the backs of the knees if they're not already. We're trying to sandwich the chest towards the thighs. Inhale, we lift and lengthen, and maybe we just stay here today. Maybe we alternate between lifting 1 foot up off the mat and lowering it down. Maybe we're happy to take both feet up, really trying to squeeze the chest towards the thighs today. We're breathing in and we're breathing out. Maybe we stay here, really feeling that chest being sandwiched, helping to elongate the spine. Shoulders back and down, really opening up the chest. So just breathing in and breathing out. And then just gently take a moment to lower the feet down, have a break, see what's happening in the spine. Good. Okay, from here, maybe coming back into it for a couple more breaths, maybe releasing the hands this time and feeling the core working. Chest really sandwiching towards it, shoulders away from the ears. One more breath. Good. As we exhale, we slowly lower the feet all the way down, soles of the feet together, knees nice and wide. As we come to our Baddha Konasana, just for a breath or two. Good. As you next inhale, I'd like you to swing the feet round one way, the hands the other way, as we come to all fours today. Now let the big toes touch, knees nice and wide, or you can keep the knees together if you fancy today. As you exhale, lower the bottom towards the heels and reach the hands nice and long ahead of you, letting the forehead rest on the mat as we come to child's pose. I'm ready to take 5 deep breaths here today. Just get comfy. If you need to adjust in any way, please feel free to. Maybe you want to join me in making a pillow for your head with your hands today. So as you next inhale, I'd like you to gently walk up onto the fingertips and bring yourself all the way up to seated in a kneeling position, nice and tall. Shoulders roll back and down a few times, just breathing in, breathing out. Good. From here, just gently walk those hands forwards. Allow the feet to part so they're about hip width wide. And I'd like you to gently roll yourself or lower yourself all the way down onto the mat, coming to a lying down position. Again, maybe making a pillow for your head with your hands. 2 breaths. Okay. As you inhale, bring yourself up onto your forearms and allow the forearms to frame the chest either side of the body, coming to our Sphinx pose. Just breathing in, breathing out. Trying to feel that lovely curve through the spine, so we're not feeling like almost a bend in the lower back. We're feeling like an arch is happening. And the way to get that is imagining the crown of the head is really reaching to a diagonal corner of the room, or a diagonal edge. Just breathing in and breathing out today. Good. As you exhale, slowly lower all the way back down. Take the hands nice and wide either side of the chest. So it's a little bit wider than mat width, if not a bit wider than that still. We're staying up onto the fingertips. As you inhale, tuck the chin in towards the chest, ripple all the way up. And as you get to the top, the head drops back. Exhale, jutting the chin forwards, folding all the way back down. Inhale, back up, chin tucks in. Head's the last thing to open up to the ceiling. And exhale, lower down. One more, inhale. Exhale down. Good. Hands come back to make a pillow for your head to rest on. Breathing in, breathing out. If you want to do a few more wiggles, you're welcome to. If you just want to relax here, please feel free to, as we're resting in reverse corpse pose now. Okay, so when you're ready to, hands frame the chest. Inhale, we bring ourselves all the way up to tabletop position. So a nice all 4 position from here. You're welcome to stay here and move through cat-cow today. So that's the inhale, belly to the ground, we look up. Exhale, tuck the chin in towards the chest, look back. But if you'd like to come to puppy pose from here, just walk those hands ahead of you. Maybe let the forehead rest on the mat or the chin as you look towards the fingertips. Just breathing in, breathing out wherever you've decided to go today. One more breath. And as you inhale, gently bring yourself all the way back up to all 4s if you were in puppy. Take a few sways if you need to. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, so from here we're going to thread the needle. So let's start with that left arm. So weight goes into the right hand as we peel the left arm to the ceiling, looking to the fingertips. As you exhale, brush the left hand across the floor and behind the right arm as you slide the arm all the way to the right, lowering the left shoulder to the mat. Option to stay here with the right hand framing the face. We can reach the right hand straight ahead. We can reach the right hand to the ceiling. We can even turn the right hand towards the back. Bend through the elbow to bring the hand all the way over to the left hip or the left thigh. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. As you next inhale, if the hand is away from the face, slowly exhale, bring it back down to the ground. Inhale, left hand back to the ceiling, looking to the fingertips, and exhale, lower it back down. Switching sides, weight into the left hand, pinning the right hand to the ceiling, looking to the fingertips. Exhale, sliding it behind the left arm, all the way to the left side, dropping the shoulder to the mat. Option to keep the left hand framing the face, reach it towards the top of the mat. Inhale, up to the ceiling, turn the palm away, bend through the elbow, and over towards the hip or the thigh. And again, breathing in, breathing out. And just seeing what's happening here for you today. Good. One more breath. Nice. As you next exhale, hand comes back down to frame the face. Pushing into the mat, right hand to the ceiling, look to the fingertips. And exhale, hands back down to the ground. Any wiggles you do fancy doing again, please feel free to. Good. Okay, from here, walking the hands one way and swinging the feet around the other way to bring the feet towards the top of the mat. So you're welcome to do this without any props if you want to, but if you have a block or some folded blankets or a pillow you fancy using, please feel free to. We're just going to place it on the mat and then allow ourselves to sit just on the edge as if we're about to fall off. We want that feeling like we are tilting forwards. We're breathing in and breathing out. Okay, toes peeling back towards the nose, hands either side of the hips, maybe on the fingertips or flat, shoulders back and down, crown of the head reaching towards the sky. Keep hugging the belly in towards the spine to really support that lower back. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe even close the eyes here. Good. Okay, from here, if you're sat on a block, just gently allow your bottom to lower down to the ground and remove the block today. Okay, so the next place we're coming to is back onto our backs, so a version of shoulder stand. So bring yourself so the bottom's towards the top of the mat or the middle, and then walk yourself all the way back down onto your back. So if you're comfortable with your shoulder stand, the shoulder stand sequence, feel free to just follow your own body's guidance. Otherwise, you can join me with bringing the feet just up towards the ceiling, palms turned down either side of the hips, just supporting the ground. We're just letting the feet hang up in the sky, creating a nice little L shape with our body. Close the eyes here and notice how the breath is feeling. Now you can have a slight bend in those knees, that's fine. Just seeing what's happening now. Feeling that lower back really connected to the ground. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm going to stay here a little bit longer. If you need to come out sooner, know that that's fine to do. Really feeling that lower back, making that connection with the ground. Good. 2 more breaths wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Lovely. As you next exhale, slowly lower all the way back down onto your back. Let the legs go nice and long.
From here, we're going to come to our fish pose. So wrap the hands underneath the bottom or slightly up towards the sacrum, so the flat bit of your back. As you inhale, tuck the chin in towards the chest and rise up onto the elbows. And maybe we stay here. Or perhaps from here, we can keep the chest lifted up or the belly lifted up as we slowly send the crown of our head towards the ground. Now, if you're like me and have a bun in the way, you can just rest on the bun. But if you can rest with your head on the mat, that's perfect. It's just relaxing and releasing and adjusting yourself as much as you need to here to get comfy. Now, if this doesn't feel right, tuck the chin in towards the chest and slowly remove the hands to ripple all the way back down to the ground. If you want to do more of a restorative version of our fish pose, grab onto a block or two or pillows or whatever you have nearby you can use and just place them on the ground behind your back and gently lower all the way over it. And you can have a passive stretch here. Instead of you actively moving into it, you can just relax on whatever prop you have to lie on. So just breathing in, breathing out. So you're going to spend 3 more breaths wherever you are, whatever you've gone to now. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, 2 more. Okay. When you're ready to, let's tuck the chin in towards the chest and slowly push through the elbows, the forearms as we bring ourselves up to seated again. If you have a prop nearby, just move it away from you and slowly walk yourself all the way back onto your back. Give yourself a nice big hug and gently rock side to side. Maybe draw some circles with the knees in both directions. Just 2 more breaths. Good. Okay, so coming to your supine twist from here. If there's a particular leg placement that you know you love and that your body wants from you today, just go ahead and do that. But if you'd like to join me in our eagle leg, let's do that. So we're going to take the left leg out nice and long, or a slight bend in the knee, and cross the right leg over the top. And this might be where we stay before rolling the knees to the left. Otherwise, we're wrapping the foot all the way around the back of the calf before drawing the knees over towards the left. Arms can come out nice and long in line with those shoulders, but trying to keep both shoulders pressing into the ground if you can. Option to come to cactus arms by bending into the elbows and allowing the hands to frame the face. We can even, as we exhale, turn our head to look towards the right and increase this stretch just that little bit more. And as you're here today, I'd like you to ask yourself what you can do to find more comfort in this pose today. So you might be feeling a really good intense stretch, but it's actually stressing you out a little bit. If that's the case, if you're finding it hard to relax into this pose, how can you adjust it to feel more comfortable? Just breathing in, breathing out, and maybe closing the eyes. Every exhale, relaxing each part of the body that little bit more today. Breathing in and breathing out. Take 3 more breaths. And as you next inhale, gently bringing the knees all the way back to center, uncrossing the legs and trying to go the opposite way. So we're taking the left leg over the top of the right knee and trying to wrap the foot around the back of the calf if that's what you did on the other side, before exhaling, drawing the knees over towards the right side now. So arms wherever you fancy them being, and maybe as you exhale, twist the head over towards the left. Maybe we close the eyes. Just breathing in and breathing out. Letting every part of your body relax and release that little bit more as you breathe out. Feeling those shoulders relaxing into the mat. Feeling the knees get heavier. That twist happening in your body. Releasing any tension in the armpit area, the back, the hips, the legs. Every single part of your body might be feeling a stretch now. Just taking a few more breaths to really notice what's going on for you. Good, one more. And as you next inhale, bringing the knees all the way back up to center, uncrossing the legs and maybe taking the hands back down to your belly or either side of the chest or the hips, whatever you need today. And maybe you choose to spend your relaxation with your knees up towards the ceiling. So our Shavasana with bent knees. Maybe you choose to come into Supta Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet touching, knees nice and wide. Or maybe extend those legs nice and long and bring the hands wherever's comfortable today. We're just breathing in and breathing out wherever you decide to be. Maybe the knees even bend if you're in your bent knee Shavasana. They bend to join each other in the middle, and perhaps we take the feet mat width wide today. There's lots of options to do whatever feels right for you. But when you come to a place that is comfortable, close the eyes. As always, notice your breath. Notice any thoughts, feelings, or sensations that you need to notice. If your mind starts to wander a little bit too much, just come back to noticing every inhale and every exhale. So for today's Shavasana, I'd like to play to you some relaxing music or some yoga music. I'd like you to try and encourage your body to relax and release as best as you can. Every exhale, just release that little bit more today. to come out of your Shavasana, slowly wiggle the fingertips and the toes, and then gently finding any other movement your body is needing from you today. Breathing in, breathing out. When you feel like you've wiggled as much as you need to, slowly roll over to your right hand side. Take a breath or two, and then gently walk yourself up to your comfortable seated position today. Bring the hands to heart center when you are ready. Take a nice big breath in, a long slow breath out. Rub those hands together, create friction, and when they're super duper warm and about to set alight, let's part them and place them over our closed eyelids. Allow the heat from our hands to warm up our eyes and slowly blink them open. Part the fingertips to let more light in, and when they've adjusted, exhale hands to heart center in prayer. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope your back is feeling glorious right now. As always, eat well, drink well, and sleep well. Namaste.